All right, so we are going to get started with our safety unit talking about body mechanics. This is a relatively short PowerPoint, but the information is important, and it's important to have a good understanding of what exactly body mechanics is and how we use it. So when we look at body mechanics, the definition from the book is the way in which the body moves and maintains balance with the most effective use of all of its parts. So the way we move, the way we maintain balance, and the way we most effectively use all of our parts. Now, why is this important? First and foremost, our muscles are going to work best when we use them correctly. Just like anything else, when we use it like we're supposed to, we're going to get the best results. As when we use those muscles correctly, it's going to make things like lifting, pulling, and pushing easier. It prevents any unnecessary fatigue or strain, so it saves us energy. One of my favorite examples is if you say take your cell phone, hold it in your hand, and hold it close to your body. That's not going to cause you a bunch of energy. You can hold it there probably for 10-15 minutes before you get tired and want to put it down. Now, if you take your cell phone in your hand and you hold your arm out straight and walk around, your arm's going to get tired in a much shorter period of time because we're putting that unnecessary strain or unnecessary tiredness on those muscles. And the last thing is that it prevents injury. Now, that can be to ourselves or it can be to other people. Think about if you and a partner are lifting something heavy, whether it's a box, a desk, something odd shaped, whatever the object is, you're picking it up. And if you're not doing it correctly, you're putting yourself and that other person at higher risk of injury. So, what are some of the things we want to do to help maintain those good body mechanics? First and foremost, we want to have a broad base of support. So the thing that is supporting us, keeping us upright, usually going to be our feet. We want those to be about 8 to 10 inches apart. Could be about hip width apart, but when we're looking at numbers, we're focusing on 8 to 10 inches. One foot's going to be slightly in front of the other. Our weight is going to be balanced equally on both feet. So we don't have all of our weight or most of our weight on that front foot or that back foot. We're balanced equally between the two. And our toes are going to be pointed in the direction of movement. So if I am moving forward, my toes should be pointed forward. If I'm going to be moving to the side, my toes and my body should be pointed to the side. When we're bending, whether it's to pick something up or put something down, we want to bend at our hips and our knees. So you'll see it says do not bend at the waist. It's important to understand the differentiation between your hips and your waist. Your waist is going to be a little bit higher up. And when we bend at the waist, we're not able to make that right angle that we make when we bend at the hips. So when we're doing this, we want to make sure we keep our back straight because our back muscles are going to be weaker than those leg muscles in our hips and thigh. And when we're putting more strain on those back muscles, we're causing them, like we said, to get tired and strained a little bit more easily. Just to reiterate, we're going to be using our strongest muscles, which are typically going to be in our legs, so our hips and our thighs, and our upper arms, so our shoulders, our deltoids. Those areas are going to be our stronger, larger muscle groups. When we look at the weaker muscle groups, we're looking at the back. When we're moving things, we want to use the weight of our body to help push or pull objects. Ideally, if possible, you want to push, pull, or slide instead of lift something. When we're doing that pushing or pulling action, we want to make sure we're using our entire body and leaning into the direction of movement. If you think about physics or anything, think about pushing a ball down a hill. When we give it that momentum, it's going to go faster and travel easier. We're going to carry heavy objects close to the body that allows us to use those stronger muscles. Avoid twisting your body when you're picking stuff up. So if I have to pick something up off the desk next to me, I'm going to turn my entire body to the object before I pick it up. Make sure that my entire body, my feet, my hips, my back, everything is facing the direction of the object I'm picking up. Because when I twist, I'm putting that strain on my back muscles or whatever muscles I'm twisting with to attempt to pick something up. We want to avoid bending for long periods of time. Just like we've been talking about, that puts that fatigue and that stress on those muscle groups. Then they get more tired. They're not able to perform as well. And then finally, we want to make sure we get help if needed. It doesn't matter if it's a 10-pound box and you think you should be able to pick it up by yourself, or if it's a 50-pound box and you're feeling really strong. If you need help, make sure you ask somebody. Getting injured is not going to be the way to go, and it's going to take more time to recover, especially from a back injury, than if you had just taken the time to get help lifting. The last thing we're going to talk about is good posture. This is something that most of us probably struggle with, but it's a very important and essential part of using correct body mechanics. It again puts that less stress on our muscles and helps prevent that tiredness. Ideally, to have good posture, we're going to be standing straight with our stomach muscles pulled in, not sucked in, not trying to look like we want to be in a pant size smaller. Just having your stomach muscles engaged so that you're activating your core, which goes all the way around to your back and helps keep everything nice and tight and straight. Make sure that we've relaxed our shoulders, pulled them back. Our balance, again, is equal on both feet, and our chin and chest are up. Now, we look today, we're all on our computers, we're all on our phones, so we do have a tendency to be hunched forward, kind of rounded in our back and our neck all day while we're on the Chromebook, while we're on the computer, while we're on our phones. And this puts additional strain, tiredness, pressure on those muscles in our neck and our back. And as a result, a lot of us struggle to stand up straight, to have that strength in our upper back or in our neck to maintain that good posture. So something to be aware of when you're in the class or when you're working on schoolwork, and we'll talk about some ways that we can correct that when we get into ergonomics. But that's the basics for body mechanics. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will see you next time.